do that through the way I coach and the way I lead, and it's a great opportunity to do that.
When you left the college game in the 90s, did you ever think you would get a chance to go back to the college game?
Actually, I tried to 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. When I left the Panthers, I immediately went to the University of North Carolina. I mean, we got let go on a Monday. I was in Chapel Hill on a Tuesday talking to Butch Davis. I did have some, I was blessed with the opportunity to stay in the league, but I really wanted to go back to college for the reason I just talked about. And I thought that was a good situation. ACC, I knew Butch's reputation as a coach, so I knew his guys would, he would allow me to coach the way I like to coach, and again pour into those young men. But when I got there, the situation was a little different than what I expected. And obviously some things happened, and Coach Davis ended up leaving in April. Well, I didn't know that was going to happen, but I knew it was a little different than anticipated. Cowboys called. And by that time, I was, felt like I needed to leave that situation and go back to the league, and that's what I did.
A lot of these guys have obviously played in the 4-3 look. When Coach Sermon coming in, and I know he'll be multiple, but
right.
How was the transition for those guys to getting used to the 3-4 with your defensive line?
Well, like you said, we're all multiple, and I think that whole philosophy as far as the 3-4 and the difference being with the defensive line, it's all a matter of how you coach it. We kind of had a multiple defense, attacking defense when I was with the Cowboys. Rex, Rob Ryan had the reputation of being a 3-4 guy, but we were a multiple front. So, in teaching these guys, I never got into a situation where I'm telling them to catch blocks and, read and react. I mean, we're striking, we're stepping, and now, once we get to playing some multiple fronts and 4-down fronts and that kind of stuff, they're already in the mentality of going forward. So that transition hasn't been as difficult in this system as it may have been in some true, wide-based, old-school Giants, Bill Parcells, two-gap, first thing to move are your hips and your hands, feet come later, that whole philosophy. We don't do that here because of our attacking style and the multiplicity of our defense.
Certainly when you take over a new group and you're the new coach, it helps to have some of the older guys buy in and
right.
sort of follow along. Anybody in particular among those veterans taking a leadership role, I guess?
Well, I mean, all of our seniors are leaders, they all do it in different ways. But they all lead, and and the benefit of being in the NFL. I mean, I come in with, with I guess a pedigree, for lack of another word. I really don't like that word, but I don't know what else to say. a pedigree that where they get some attention. They sit down and say, hey, this guy's coached, some of those players that I've mentioned earlier, and that got their attention. Okay, hey, he's been with some Pro Bowlers, he's been with some All-Pro players. And in that situation, I learned from them. They fortunately learned something from me. And when these guys come in, they're, okay, coach, I want to play like those guys play. So, you get their attention right away. And now it's up to me to keep it and to earn it. I think as a coach, our responsibility is to earn the right to coach. And you do that by showing players you can help them win. So, I think being very detailed in what we're doing. A question was asked today about why don't I do a certain drill that these guys are used to doing. And I said because I don't see the application of football for that particular drill. And if I don't see the application of football, I don't do it. Just because somebody else may have done it or a bunch of people may have done it, if I don't see the application, I don't do it. Because everything I want these guys to do is be able to relate to winning on Saturdays. And that's all we talk about.
Being in the league as long as you were and then in college, what was last year like being away from high-profile football? And what did you take from that experience?
Well, what I took from it, it was my first time coaching high school in over 30 years. And, it was kind of a different order. You go college, major college, pro ball, and then you're coaching at a little. And trust me when I say it, I was coaching football in Texas. I was not coaching Texas high school football. Okay, I was at a little small Christian school, and we had some success. We went undefeated in our district and went to the playoffs in second round and that kind of stuff. So it was good. But the thing I got from it is teaching. I had to really be detailed in my teaching. My expectations. So really, again, good Lord is all over my career, is that prepared me for this. Understanding that I have to be very, very detailed. I can't go in with an expectation of these guys being able to do exactly what I'm used to guys doing. I have to coach to the player. And so that experience really helped me with that.
How much has recruiting changed in the 20 years since you've been out of the game?
1,000%. Yeah, it's been funny. A lot of my buddies from the league have called me, and that was the number one question because some of those guys, like myself, have been away from it for a long time. And football is football. I mean, that part hasn't changed. And caring about the kids, so keeping up on their academics. another requirement for coaches here. You know, Coach Mullen is big on that as well. He should be. That's not hard because you care about the kids, you care about them graduating. But the recruiting, man, I mean, men, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, 2 months ago, I had a flip phone. Okay, you guys all laughing, but that's true. I mean, I had that slide phone with the little keyboard there, and all I could do was text and call. And that's really all I needed, you know, because I didn't need to track anybody. I had everybody I needed to talk to on my phone, and we texted or we called, and that's what we did. And then ended up, you know, I was fishing in the creek at nighttime trying to catch some bass. Slipped, my phone got wet, so all of a sudden I had to go get a smartphone. And man, I was like, holy cow, this thing is weird, you know. But little did I know that was kind of preparing me for this, because now, I mean, I'm on that phone or on my iPad all the time with Twitter or, you know, 247 or whatever it is, trying to track these recruits and trying to get them excited about Mississippi State and seeing what they're doing. So that part of it is completely different. I can't wait till we get to the part that I know I'm good at, and that's getting in front of mom and dad or getting in front of mom and that kid in the house, and then telling them about Mississippi State football and how we can help them be great and how we can help them reach their potential as young men. That part, I'll be good at that. So this process right now is the part where I'm scrambling, you know, just trying to get these guys done.
I came in late, so sorry we already talked about him, but what has jumped out to you about AJ Jefferson?
Oh, we didn't talk about AJ, so that's a good question. It's his desire to be really, really good. You know what I mean? AJ is a guy that's had some success in this conference. You know, arguably he's our best defensive lineman based on his production, and he could have very well come in this thing and said, hey, I know how to play, I know what I'm doing, and just kind of selling his laurels. But he's one of our hardest working guys. He asks great questions. He really tries to help the young guys, you know, because, you know, I get going sometimes, and you know, I ask questions and to make sure the guys are getting it. And if they aren't getting it, you know, I'll hear him maybe whispering to a guy and that kind, which I like. You know, I like the guys. Number one, he understands what I'm trying to teach, but he understands it because it's important to him. And for a guy that's had some success, especially as much success as he's had, to come in and really buy in wholeheartedly. He's taken a fantastic leadership role, which is something, from what I understand, he hasn't done before. You know, like I told him, it's his turn now. You know, he's the guy. So I couldn't be more excited about AJ.
I know in your line of work you're used to it. You've been around in things, been around you guys, but with this defensive staff, all four of you, you know,
right,
kind of new guys. What's the dynamic been like between you four guys?
Great. Coach Sherman does a great job. Peter does a great job, and I think, you know, it's kind of a unique staff in that three of us have quite a bit of NFL experience. You know, Peter played in the league, Terrell Buckley played in the league, and you know, I coached in the league for a number of years. So, you know, they kind of helped me a little bit because they both have more college experience than me. You know, they'll kind of help me kind of see it for what it is. You know, oh man, these plays, you know, we don't have to, you know, this is what they're going to do in this league. You know, this, that, and the other. You know, it's, you know, the hash marks. The wide field is actually a wide field. You know, the NFL balls in the middle all the time, seems like. So, I mean, those little things, because they know what I'm used to, they've really kind of helped me along the process. And again, it's just, I mean, it's family. You know, it's Mississippi State. It's family. And although we're a new defensive staff, I think based on these last couple of weeks, you know, we've bought in on that. And, I mean, you know, we're all brothers and we're all in this thing together. So it's been fantastic. And I give, you know, Coach Mullen and Coach Sherman all the credit for that.